So, you want to know how well the cast of Demon Slayer would do in the world of Zenless Zone Zero. More specifically, I'm going to talk about the Hashira, the demons, and then eventually Yurichi. The Hashira and the demons are going to be at least pretty interesting because, sure, the demons are going to be probably the biggest factor, especially if they're not evil. Because, sure, let's just assume that they factor in as agents. If they're fighting another agent, they'll be smart enough to be taken down. But if it's an ethereal, the demons are going to flourish because they can heal themselves out of ether corruption more than likely. And your average ethereal isn't going to be smart enough to know the methods to take down the Demon Slayer demons. So their insane healing factor and abilities would more than likely help them deal with ethereals. Now, would it have to take more than one of them for some of the stronger tier ethereals? Maybe, but it shouldn't be a problem. The Hashira, on the other hand, let's assume that because of the world is endless, let's assume that their Demon Slayer powers, their breathing styles, actually are actual elements instead of just being a visual thing. If they do the whole actual elements thing, you could range from having a low tier, from a character being in the low tier of power from the lower ranking Hashira to a mid to high tier character for the likes of Guillaume and Sanemi. Now, I say high tier because I wanted to be a little bit generous. More than likely, if we're purely talking power output, scaling wise, they'd more than likely be stuck in the mid tiers. But then you got this guy, Yurichi. A guy who's literally strong enough he could solo his entire verse with ease. The man speed blitzed the final villain that no one ever could have even done in the verse, even at their peak. Now, I'd say he would classify as a high tier, but am I saying he could compete with Section 6? Definitely not. But at least with his prominent speed, and if you give sun breathing and basically make it actual elemental, I think he would more than likely be a fire attacker or a fire anomaly. You know what, I'm going to lean more towards and say he'd be fire anomaly, because the effect he had on Muzan with sun breathing specifically could... Actually, you know what? Let's just have fun. Let's say that he's a Void Hunter in terms of title, and that sun breathing is a similar thing to the fire element as Miyabi's frost is to the ice element. And its unique feature is that it has lingering effects with the whole sun breathing effect. Think what it did to Muzan, where the injuries continued to burn even after he was struck. Even after so long had passed from the injuries actually occurring. And again, just because I'm saying that he might have the Void Hunter title, purely because of what he can do, I don't think that he would be on Miyabi's level, obviously. But seeing as Void Hunter is just a title and the power levels of the characters for that title can vary, I don't see why we couldn't make Yurichi, who is the most special case among Demon Slayers, to be a Void Hunter character. Especially since sun breathing could function as that special element for the fire element.